In this lesson, we will understand what are string calculations in Tableau. In the previous lecture, we saw the numeric calculations for numbers. So the string calculations are for text. That means strings. Let us see what are string calculations with some common types of string calculations in Tableau. With that, we will also see a live running example on Tableau. Let us start. So string calculations are used to manipulate and analyze text data to create new insights and add context to your visuals. Some common string functions are being shown below. So we have divided some common string functions and calculations into these types. That means basic, text manipulation, regular expression, date and time calculations, and advanced. We will understand them one by one. Consider that our field names are like field A, field B, field C, okay, so that we can understand it easily. Let us start with the basic string calculation. Let's say you want to concatenate the first name with the last name. Let's say my name, you can concatenate Amit with Diwan to make it a complete name, that is Amit Diwan. You can also extract a part of a string using the substring method. Also we have the length method to get the length of the string, upper lower case to convert it from one case to another, trim to remove the leading or trailing spaces. Then we have text manipulation calculations to replace substring, to split a string into array, to combine array into string, also to extract data from a string using the parse method. So these are the functions provided by Tableau for string calculations. Then comes your regular expression. Okay, regular expressions are mainly used to match patterns for string matching and manipulation, especially in text processing and data cleaning task. So here we have some methods like for matching the pattern, for replacing the matches, and for extracting the matched text. Then we have date and time string calculations. Let's say you want to convert string to date and then date to string. If you also want to convert a string to timestamp, you can also do it. A timestamp is a sequence of characters identifying when a certain event occurred. It mostly includes your date and time. Okay, so these are the date and time string calculations for timestamp, date to string, and date parse. Then comes your advanced calculation to find the index of a substring, to check if a substring exists or not. For that we have the contains method, and then the starts with or ends with method. If you want to check, let's say, whether a category begins with the word B or not, or ends with the word B or not, using these methods you can implement it. Now let us see an example of string calculations. In the same workbook which we saw under numeric calculations, we will add a new sheet and name it string calculations. Now we will implement the string methods or calculations on Tableau. So this was a Tableau. Let us create a new worksheet. Click here. So I named it string calculations. In the project Amit _ Tableau _ calculations. Go to analysis. Click create calculated field. Now we will create a calculated field. Click here and now the methods are visible like before. We saw numeric before, number. Click string and all the string functions are visible. I'll name it first. Let's say I'll write it city _ C. Okay, so what we are finding? We are finding the sales of the city that begin with the letter C. For that, what we'll use? The starts with method. I already told you before. So to avoid any problem, just click here and the syntax, double click and the syntax is automatically visible. Also the explanation is visible here with the example, and this is what we'll do. It is right now having errors because we did not added anything. Here what we want, city starting with C. So type city and it's visible. Press enter, comma, the syntax is the following. So I mentioned C, that means city starting with C, it will show. That means the sales of the city that begin with the letter C, because we'll also add the sum of sales measure. Okay, that's it. Calculation is valid. That means the syntax is correct. I'll also change the code. Let's say I'll go for double quotes and let's see whether it will be correct or not. Okay, it's working. And the syntax is here. Click apply, then OK. Now on the left we have a new field. So city was a dimension, so city underscore C will also be a dimension. The top ones are dimensions and the below ones are measures. I already told you, you can drag anyone and check. Now what we will do, drag the sales to the columns shelf, that is sum of sales, and the city to the rows shelf. Now the bar chart is visible for sum of sales by city. Now drag the new field city underscore C to the filters section. After it's visible, we can select the option true or false. So we used the starts with method. That method returns true if the string starts with the mentioned substring. That is, in this case it was the letter C. So what we should select here? We should select true, so that we want the cities that begin with the name C. That's it. Right now all the cities are visible. You can see from A to Z. Okay, I'll click apply, then OK. And now all the cities beginning with the letter C is visible. So this is how we filtered and we implemented the string calculations. Now only the true values are visible. That means beginning with the letter C. So we have the sum of sales for the cities starting with the letter C. You can keep the mouse cursor and check. The tooltip is also visible. I'll save it. So guys, we saw how we can implement the string calculations in Tableau. We implemented a built-in method and saved the new sheet string calculations in the Amit underscore Tableau underscore calculations workbook. Thank you for watching the video.